What's up, YouTube? On this episode of Coddiwomple Overland, we're going to be continuing our route along the Southern Florida Adventure Trail from the Keys all the way up the west side.
We don't need a destination, let's go where the river's taking us.
Times on these trips, it's worth getting up a little bit early. This morning, we got up at 5:30 to be able to leave the Everglades and start making our way down the Keys. The plan for the day is to get across the Keys before all the traffic really hits. Maybe see kind of part of the sunrise on the water, and then we're going to go down and do the touristy thing in Key West, hang out down there, check that area out. Neither one of us have ever been to the Keys, so we're going to go down and see that, and then not a whole lot of open camping opportunities for when we're going to be down here, so we're going to hang out in a bungalow tonight. So that's the plan for the night, and then we're going to start heading back up the east side of the SOFAT. We made it to Marathon Key by about 9 o'clock in the morning. Now, I normally tell anybody, everywhere I could take my Jeep, I could pretty much take this trailer. But Joe tells me parking may be a different story in the Keys. So we're going to drop it here and make our way on down to Key West. After parking and securing the Teton, it was time for us to continue traveling just as far south as we could possibly travel in the continental United States. After getting the rare opportunity to drive by the southernmost tip of Florida, it was time to get out and walk around a little bit and take in some of the sights and scenes of Key West. Now, throughout our travels, we've been to a lot of touristy places, and I've got to tell you, as soon as you get out here, everything just seems to slow down. It's a totally different vibe. One thing that we felt like we had to do was join in on the tradition of adding our decal to the sticker wall.
Probably partially holding it up.
Joe and Misty had to do the same thing as well.
We'll put it next to you.
There we go.
And
Now we got one more, right?
yep, we got one more for Lady Overlander Radio. Looks like a good spot.
Yeah.
There we go.
But this time we were all starting to get pretty hungry. Joe wanted to take us to one of his favorite places down here, the Two Friends Patio. This was a really cool restaurant, very laid back, and Aspen got to go in with us and just kind of hang out just the same. And he wasn't the only animal hanging out around the patio. Since we had gotten up so early, it was still breakfast on the menu, and this was a really good one. After you finished your breakfast, they had a pretty specialized busing team for the tables. With our bellies full and our interest piqued about what all this wild little town has to offer, it was time to get out and start walking again. There's a huge amount of history in this old town, and the U.S. Coast Guard Customs Station is just one part of it. Another place that Joe wanted to show us to get a really good meal was the No Name Bar on the No Name Island. But it was so busy that we didn't get a chance. So we decided to move on and make our way back to Marathon Key. We would end up grabbing something to eat at the Cabana just outside of our bungalow, and that's where we'd end up spending the rest of the evening. Next morning, we were up and moving early as we had a lot of things that we wanted to see as we headed north.
Robert is here.
Robert is here, that's what I hear.
This is a local favorite. It's been here many years, and they have all kind of local goodies and things to check out and some animals.
So it's so famous, we were just listening to it on the audio app about the whole history of Robert is here. When it first started, Robert's dad put signs on each end of a table that said Robert is here. And before lunch, he sold out of every, I love trucks. Before lunch, he sold out of every piece of fruit that he had, and that was the start of Robert is Here's fruit stand. Pretty cool. Joe was right. There was all kinds of different fruits and old farm tractors and animals, and you could spend hours just looking around this place. So Rick, this is sugar cane. You're asking what it looked like. There it is. And here at Robert's Fruit Stand, you can actually buy raw homegrown sugar cane. Another thing that Robert's is famous for are their incredible milkshakes.
All right, so one of the things that you have to do at Robert is Here is try their smoothies and their milkshakes.
Yes.
And we all have a variety of milkshakes and smoothies, and we're just gonna try them out.
Yeah. I got a oh, go ahead.
I went safe. You know how I am. I'm accused of being picky, but I just know what I like. So I got chocolate strawberry.
Well, I went safe too because I just have bananas, so I'm even lower down than you.
I have mango, passion fruit, and banana.
And I have the guanabana, vanilla, and coffee.
You were way out there.
Yeah, I go like, I gotta try something weird.
Yeah. Let's taste them.
That's good. So this is definitely a stop that you need to make on the SOFAT. It's not on it right now, but this is one of those things that we're going to send to John so he can add to it. This is really a taste of Southern Florida. This is cool. This is definitely a must stop if you're on the SOFAT.
Oh yeah, I third that, second that, whatever.
Perfect.
Yes.
After leaving Robert's Fruit Stand, we continued our way north through the multiple farms just west of Homestead. This was definitely the tightest thing that we had seen on the SOFAT so far.
We had one more stop before we made it out of the Homestead area, and that was the Redland Vineyard. It was like taking a step into an oasis in Italy, unlike anything that I'd ever seen.
You can see my first iguana in the bottom.
To be fair, we have on his head.
Yeah.
That white one down there.
Those are cichlids, I think.
There's like a big dome on him.
Mm-hmm. The parrotfish. And them are parrotfish, and the other ones are cichlids, aren't they?
After leaving the gorgeous vineyard, we were back on the road, making our way north and across US 41. Another place that you may want to stop and check out if you're along the Tamiami Trail is the Miccosukee Indian Village. See any? By this time, the only thing we had had for breakfast was coffee and a milkshake. So the Crab Shack along the Tamiami Highway was the perfect place to stop and get lunch. After filling up on some delicious food, it was time to then make our way a little further north and on through the Panther Preserve. That's why all this high chain link fence is along the highway. From all the signs we passed, apparently the panther population is growing pretty rapidly down here, and you've really got to watch for them.
The other sign said entering panther habitat.
That's why they got the 8-foot fence with barbed wire on each side of it.
The shadows had started growing longer, and it was time to start searching for camp. We found a really nice one just inside the Ocklacuchee State Forest. This is the Panther Pond Primitive Campground. It's really nice. The sites are plenty large enough and very private. The time we had set up camp, we had already had a really big meal at the Crab Shack and decided to just throw out some snacks for the rest of the evening.
Purple colored olives. Mm-hmm. What do they call them? You want the...
Next morning was a bit of a lazy time around camp. We knew we didn't have a whole lot left of the SOFAT to finish, so we really enjoyed this campsite. Yesterday, we had bypassed the Picayune Strand State Forest and went on to camp. We knew we didn't have the hours to do that, so we wanted to go back today, revisit that area, and really take our time to enjoy it. We also knew that this was probably going to be our last opportunity to see a panther or a bear in southern Florida. Our last campsite of the trip is going to be at the Webb Babcock Wildlife Preserve. It's another primitive campsite with very large and flat campsites. On the menu tonight was Mexican.
No, I don't then. Here you go.
These wraps. The SOFAT is an incredible adventure. It takes you through a lot of Florida that people never get to see. It's not very difficult. It's more scenery than it is challenge. But that's one of the great things about it. Just like always, we hope that you've enjoyed riding along with us as much as we've enjoyed doing it. And until next time, see you.